Recording has started.
Thank you very much, Rob. Good afternoon, good evening, everybody in District 71. It gives me great pleasure to see you here today, to have you with us, and I'm really glad at short notice you were able to come. This is a meeting that was called by the Zoom Academy, for want of a better word, and we need your help. My name is Nick Lacani, and some of you may know me. I was with Eddie Omani and Moira O'Brien. We actually did a lot of the contests and TLIs, and over the last few months, we actually put a really strong team together, which is now an academy which has 4 separate units, and we even have a Zoom events coordinator. And you're going to be hearing from all 5 of those in the next few minutes. As I said, we need your help. First of all, we need your help to find people in your clubs and in your areas and your divisions who want to learn new things, who want to learn new skills or share the skills that they want to learn. Well, this is a learning organization, right? In order to help you deliver your division contest in the next couple of months, we want to offer you the services of our academy and to get people trained up and give them the experience and the know-how, put them in with like-minded people. And if there are other people out there who have the skills, we want to hear them because we want to know what they know, and we want to actually be the best that we can be in the time given. One of the key things is we have contests coming up, and we also have the club officer training in the next few months as well, in January, February time. We want to be even more ready than we were for the last lot. That's why we need your help. We need your help to let people know what we're doing here today. Therefore, please listen and look and ask questions, and then take the information and please pass it on. In terms of the agenda, and what we're going to do is, if I can actually I'm going to actually share the agenda in the chat here today. And as you can see, we're going to introduce 4 academy leads and also Liz, our Zoom events coordinator. The first academy I'd like to welcome, please we'll give a warm hand from the Zoom Academy, Dinah and Eddie.
Over to you,
Hi,
Eddie.
everyone. Thank you, Dinah. Hi, everyone, and thank you for taking the time to join us this evening. So the academy that Dinah and I are leading at the moment is fundamentally a group aimed at knowledge management. So what we're trying to do is take people from D71 and further afield and bring everyone that has an interest in Zoom and has an interest in learning how to use Zoom and getting a bit more under the hood of the software, as it were, get everyone up to a certain level of comfort, competence, and confidence. And the idea is that once we have everyone up to one level, then people can stay at that level. They can experiment a little bit more. They can go on to one of the other streams, such as the Contest Academy or the Streaming Solutions, or whatever the case may be. But you know, it gives everyone who has had some exposure to Zoom, but maybe not who maybe would not consider themselves a Zoom master, to get up to the level of Zoom mastery. And we have a curriculum set up. We've had 2 sessions already with a whole slew of subject matter in there. The sessions have been recorded so that we can distribute them once the initial sessions are done. And it's really, I suppose, the base learning environment for anyone who wants to become expert, really, in the Zoom platform. Dinah, have you got anything you want to throw in?
I
think the point is that it enables people to come from, be at club level and they want to host a club at, meeting, to division meeting, anything like that. It's just giving them that safe environment to practice those skills without it impacting on how the agenda is going ahead and things like that, and to have that safe environment to ask questions, to explore, and just have that experience that you might not otherwise get. Any questions from anybody?
I think we do have a Q&A session. We have around roughly 20 minutes at the end of the session to have questions and answers. Dinah and Eddie, are you done? Thanks very much for that.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it. So Dinah and Eddie actually run the Zoom Academy, and you've just heard them talk about the training that they've been doing. In terms of the next item, and Moira and David actually do run this, which is the hybrid element. And Moira can't be with us today, unfortunately. So David Clinton is going to run this session for us, or run the next bit. So please welcome David Clinton.
Hi, everybody, and thank you, Nick, for your introduction. It's my pleasure to be involved in the Hybrid Academy. I specifically have had an interest in this particular area for some time, and I feel it's a solution for those who may have been struggling with members who have an issue with elements of the technology that we use for Zoom and online, who may have been wavering a little bit in terms of their attendance or their continued membership with Toastmasters. And over the past few weeks, we've been testing audio, testing microphones, looking at different ways and means of presenting hybrid meetings. Unfortunately, locally, we've moved into another restricted period, so that has interrupted a growing practice of using hybrid. We had a number of clubs trying it out and very much engaged and very successful with the process. But we hope to return to it again in the autumn. And we believe that this will be a template to encourage others further afield to do the same, to encourage retention of membership and perhaps grow membership. But as said earlier by Eddie and Dinah, there is an element of learning. There is a comfort level which we all have to reach, be it at club level or area level or division level. And my sense is we need to bring people with us gradually, see that it's not as difficult or complicated as they may have initially thought. But we've done some of the work. We've learned by trial and error. I know that from personal experience, and was happy to be the fall guy on a number of occasions. But we're getting better at this. Garode and I only this evening were recording some video footage to distribute to members, how to conduct their contests here in our area and his own area, and to get people to engage with the whole process of online contests early on and in a positive way. So the hybrid is something which we hope will be useful over the coming months, which we may introduce again when restrictions permit us to do so, or the lifting of restrictions permit us to do so. So we'd be happy to take any questions later on. Thank you very much.
Thank you, David. Thank you for that. And yes, there will be ability to take questions later on, as David said. In terms of the next item, we've got the Contest Academy, and the contest leads there are Rob Partridge and Chris Collins. So I'd like to ask Rob Partridge to address the meeting. Please welcome Rob.
Thank you, Nick. So much like the other academies, we're here to help people. We're going, or rather we hope we're going to train people in how to run the contests online. Anyone that has an interest in running those online can join the academy, and we'll go through all the details. We also have another function, and that is we're going to put together a cadre of people who are capable of running the contests. All the contests for the rest of the year, and from what we're hearing, potentially for the rest of the season, other than at club level, will be run online. And it does take a particular skill set to actually run it properly online. So we're going to help people get up to that standard and be able to run their contests online. And we'll also have people who can step up and help you organize your contest. The Academy itself is open to anybody that's interested in joining and anybody that's interested in being part of the contests around the entire district. I think that really, to be honest, given everything else that's been said by the speakers before me, that's pretty much it from the Contest Academy in how it differs. Chris, is there anything you'd like to add?
No, I think you've covered it pretty well there. Yeah, it's essentially find people who have a shared interest in doing this and training them up to, you know, a reasonable standard, and then helping people to take their contests online with a greater degree of confidence and competence.
Thank you, Chris. Thanks, Nick.
Thank you very much, Rob and Chris. Appreciate that. And our final sector or segment on our academy is the streaming solutions. And again, Moira is involved with that. She's not able to be here, but she is ably assisted by Garode. So please welcome Garode Murphy.
Thank you, Nick. Hello, everyone. And I just want to apologise on Moira's behalf that she couldn't be with us this evening. It's an honour to be Moira's assistant lead on the Streaming Solutions group. What is streaming? Well, I was intrigued by that question just a few months back because my experience with YouTube or streaming live events was non-existent. But I was keen to learn. I was keen to find out what it meant, and delighted to get the opportunity to be involved with the Zoom Streaming Academy. Basically, the world is your oyster when it comes to streaming. There are several advantages. One, you can reach a larger audience. In fact, even a worldwide audience. If basically by promoting and sending around the link, you can have hundreds of people attend your events. For example, I was lucky to be involved in the District 71 finals, and that event was actually streamed on the D71 Toastmasters YouTube channel. Over that period of the contest, over 2,100 people tuned into the live stream, which is incredible numbers. Also, the ease of accessibility. Some people may struggle to attend Zoom meetings. Some may have trouble with technology, but again, with a YouTube stream, it's only one click away and you're able to watch the event. And this actually it's ideal because it can be viewed across all platforms. It can be viewed across laptops, Macs, iPads, tablets and phones, just at the click of a button. Another thing is it is interactive, that you can have a comment section. People can take part, ask questions, and you can have a chat moderator following the YouTube commentary and replying, and if need be, feeding back to the Zoom room. It's also a very useful tool for training, and recently we have started to stream the District 71 Sunday sessions. These go out on YouTube, and again, another bonus is that once you stream live, afterwards you can actually upload that video to your YouTube channel, so a record of that event will be available. So I'm promoting you to try to get interested in streaming. You can have your club contests streamed, area contests streamed, divisions, and training events, and even workshops, so that in the event of somebody missing out, they can go on the YouTube channel and see the event and catch up. So it offers a lot of possibilities outside of Zoom for being able to see it live and catch up. So I look forward to your Q&As later, and I'll hand you back to Nick.
Thank you very much, Garode. Now, we've heard from the four segments, or the academies. I'd like to hear now from our Zoom events coordinator, the person that you email when you need help. So please welcome from Division N, our Division Director in Division N, please welcome Liz Welsh.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Zoom people. Yes, so we've heard from the academies. How do you get hold of them? You contact this email address, which I am putting into the chat right now. Zoom Events Coordinator at Gmail, or it should be .com. Have I missed the M off? Should be .com, yeah? I'm just making sure everyone's awake. So basically, we're trying to coordinate things so that the Zoom academies don't get inundated with questions and things like that. So the idea is here that if you can circulate that email address out to your clubs, to your presidents, to your membership, to whoever across the world, then the email will come back into that address, and initially, very often it's on an automatic reply back, and there will be two questionnaires attached. Basically, one is asking, do you wish for help with an event? So if you want help with an event, you just fill in the detail. Quite simple. We're not asking for a load of detail at that time. We just want basically your name, your division, your area, your club if necessary, and what the event is. And then there's a few questions about breakout rooms and streaming and everything else. And that means that when that comes back in, I can look at it and think, okay, this is a contest, off it goes to Rob. It's a contest, but the one that's streamed, it'll go to Rob and Myra and Jared and all the assistants. And then if it's for general information about helping with the club set up a Zoom for their meeting, it would go over to the Zoom pool with Dinah. So that's that one. And then the other one is asking you if you wish to, which academy you would like to join, okay? So one is for events and the other one is academy. So if you feel that you want to just go and figure out how to do Zooming, then it's obviously the Zoom Academy. And if you want to know about streaming, hybrid, contests. So answer the questions. You can, if you wish to be in all of the academies, that's fine. Just pick all the boxes and then I'll just circulate it out. So that's a way of just trying to condense the flow of information coming into the academies. So it's trying to streamline that process. And it's like everything, it is on an automatic reply. So we don't want anything, we don't need a whole load of information initially, just something like, can you please send me your form? And then it'll automatically go out and you'll get it. You don't need to say a whole remit of everything that you want, because you'll get a form and we'll ask you. We're trying to make it simple, but you need to know that. All right. And I think that's about it, really. So you've got the email address, gmail.com. And if you can circulate that as widely as you wish, and just, even if they want advice, you have a question and you're not sure, just send it in and we will endeavour to get the answer back out from the Zoom Academy leads. I look forward to your questions later if you have any.
Sorry, Liz, can I just ask you, Maureen here, can I just ask you the address again, because it went very quickly. Zoom Events Coordinator.
Is it not still in the chat?
I don't see it there. Maybe it's in it now.
It's in the chat at the end, is it? Anyway, Zoom.
No. Oh, it is. Sorry, I see it now. Sorry, my fault. Apologies.
No, it's okay. But it's .com.
Yeah, that's fine.
.com.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry.
I sent it too quick. I missed my M.
No, you're okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Liz. Thank you to Liz and all the others for their contribution so far. Let me just, before we have questions and questions, just have a think about this. Just ask yourself, do all your clubs, have all your clubs have the technology, have the skills to run their own online contests? Has your area the people with the skills to run your online area contests? And yes, you guessed it, has your division the skills to run your online contest? Well, in March and April, what we and some the people that you can see here and many more people in the background, what we did was we traveled not only throughout D71 to go and deliver those contests, we also, I mean, I did a lot of work in District 91 as well. But that's the point. People were crying out for people with skills, knowledge, and experience. Well, I believe that we have the people in our districts, in our divisions, in our areas, and in our clubs. We just need to get the message to them. We want you to actually go and run your own contests. And then when the club officer training comes around in January and February, we want you to be able to run those as well. And we can help you. That's the point. We're not a district funded body. We're not a district backed body. Our district supports us and asks us for help. But we've done this off our own back because do you know why? There was nobody else. There was nothing else. We just came and we saw there was a vacuum and we decided to fill it. We wanted our areas, our divisions and our districts to run these online contests. And we did that. We did that really well. Now it's everybody else's turn to go and develop and answer your own, we have issues out there. We should actually find plenty of people to go and deliver these trainings within the divisions. That's what we're looking for. Now, we have roughly 20-25 minutes for question and answers. Please just either type in a question or just raise your hand. Nobody has any questions? Go ahead, Paul.
Thanks, Nick. So initially, are we offering a training solution for existing members, even newer members who just join, or are we looking at those who are a bit more familiar and were after advanced skills, or both?
Anybody in your clubs and in your area and your divisions throughout the whole district, anybody can come and learn new skills as long as they're using it for the betterment of their clubs as well as themselves. That's the whole point. We want to help people. I mean, don't forget the skills that Eddie and Dinah are teaching at the moment in their training sessions. This will help you with online interviews, with helping you with your job, because your job may be moving online or may have already moved online. We want to actually encourage you to present yourselves better. And that's what Contest Academy does. For example, not only about the Zoom skills, it's about the ability to create contest chairs and chief judges that really perform very well at that level. All of these skills are transferable to all of our members, and these skills are transferable to the outside world, not just Toastmasters. So it doesn't matter what experience they have. It doesn't matter how long they've been a Toastmaster. Anybody who wants to learn is welcome.
And is it almost like, in one way, a normal Toastmasters meeting where you would attend regularly for as long as you need, or have you got like a 10-week course, or?
Right, well, good question. So each of these academies work a little bit differently. So for example, with Eddie and Dinah, they've set up a couple of sessions already for training. What plans, Eddie and Dinah, what plans do you have in terms of training? Are you going to roll out the same level of training, or maybe make videos available, or run more sessions?
So at the moment, I'm editing, or trying desperately, well, I've edited, but I'm trying to upload the videos of the first two sessions to the Google Drive, and we can put them up on the YouTube channel probably after that. So I guess what we're doing initially is we're having a first phase of 4 sessions just to familiarize people with the functionality. You know, what does that button do? No, don't hit that button. Not that one, not that one.
Big red one.
Yeah,
big red
exactly,
one.
exactly. End meeting for all. No! And, you know, get people comfortable with what the various terminologies and all that kind of stuff mean. Once we've got past those 4, and all 4 of those sessions either have or will be recorded and made available to whoever wants to watch them subsequently, whether they're a member of the Academy or not. The next phase then is going to be setting up demo meetings, in effect, for people, so that people can come in, they can be made a host, and they can literally muck around with breakout rooms, with renaming people, with waiting rooms, with pre-registration, with locking the meetings off, all of that kind of stuff, because it's only really by this level of experimentation in a secure environment, as Dinah said earlier, that people start getting used to it. We'll record those sessions as well, you know, if people are okay with that. But it's really going to be a learn by breaking, or trying to break it. Then after phase 2 is complete, phase 3 will be looking at things like, because Zoom is kind of constantly evolving, and an awful lot of the functionality is changing, you know, every couple of weeks. It's going to be things like, you know, recent changes, new tips and tricks, developments, learnings from the other streams, all of that kind of stuff. So we see it kind of progressing, but as the other sessions start coming on board, other trainers besides myself and Dinah will be coming along to mentor the members of the Academy, people like Binal and Sarinka and Garode, just to, you know, almost handhold to make sure that people know they can't do any damage. You know, they've got someone who's an expert as such, looking over their shoulder and minding them, and they can just experiment and just get used to the whole system.
Within so I'm from Leeds City. Within our club, we've put the Zoom Master role in on the meeting agenda, but there is a very small pool of people, I think, who would feel competent and confident enough to do it at the meeting. So it's always maybe like the same 4 people. And so I've been asking for this type of thing, where training for especially people who don't have the confidence to come along and at least learn how to do a poll, mute and unmute people, more basic. And then I know, like, I've never done breakout rooms, and I know those will probably come into play when we come into contests. So as area director, I know I've got area contests coming up. I do have people, we managed to run hours in sort of March, April. I didn't necessarily want to ask the same people again. I think, like you mentioned, we need to build up a pool of experience and competence.
I think, Paul, you made a really good point there about your club, and there's only 3 or 4 people who are confident doing the Zoom Master role. One of the key things that every club should be doing, I mean, look at it this way. If your club has only got 4 people who are confident in doing the Toastmaster role, what would you do? We'd actually encourage people to take part and just have a go, right? And that's what a lot of the clubs have been doing. One of the clubs I've been involved with over here in Manchester, Manchester Communicators, they make a point of everybody gets to do every role. Now, if, for example, they're not so confident, that's okay. There's somebody sitting next to them, or next to them virtually, to make sure that they're comfortable, they can message each other and, you know, make sure they're okay. But that's the point. You can have a buddy system like that. You can do that in your clubs. What we're doing is, yes, we want to give you that and that little bit extra that Eddie talked about, which is the ability to go and have a couple of sessions, just try things out. We just want people, you know, ideally, what I would like to do is to actually get 200 plus people trained up in the next month or so, by watching the videos or by attending these sessions, so that they feel comfortable in running your club meetings. Because ultimately, that means that one person per club in our district has been trained up. So that would be a progress, wouldn't it? But just have a go. Just have a go. Let me just go through a couple of other people. Liz, you had a point.
I was actually going to say we I haven't got the poll ready yet, the questionnaire, but if people feel confident enough to be running a club meeting and they want to help, we do have a pool that we use as a resource. So if somebody comes in and says, I want to run a contest, it goes to the lead, but then we'll have a pool of Toastmasters who can come, who can be recruited to help at the event. So if you've got people in your clubs who are already confident and can do that, they can, hopefully in the next few days when I get a bit of time to do the poll, there'll be 3 polls on the automatic reply, and one of them will be saying, would you like to join the pool? And we'll be asking what skill they already have, and then we'll be able to look at that to see if they can join us as part of the Zoom master team to help with the events. And that way, hopefully they can understand more that's going on within the divisions and the areas and the districts, and then be able to pick up skills that they can, further skills to take back to their clubs as well, and then encourage them to come and join the academies. So it could be like a life circle of the academy, yeah. So that's another one, but I'll need to just put a few more finishing touches to that particular poll. But if anybody has people who's confident to run meetings already in breakout rooms and little things, then it would be great to have them on board.
Yeah, I think the main message is that things will develop because people will. We want feedback. We want feedback from you today. After today, from you, we want feedback from the people that we train up, and then we will then be led by what the members want. That's the key. You know, if there's a problem to be solved, let us try and help. We won't know what the problem is unless you speak to us. That's the point. That's why we need to reach out to everybody, every area, every division that we have out there. What are the issues that you're facing, and how can we help? And so just find people that want to do more of this, and get in touch with us. Let's have a couple more questions. I think Rob, did you have? Sorry, Timothy. Sorry, did you have your hand up? Yeah. Please unmute yourself. Hi.
Yes, that would help. Sorry, briefly. The person who's actually chairing the contest doesn't need to be the person in charge of Zoom, do they? And
definitely not. They should not be. They should not be. The contest chair is like the equivalent of a host on TV. You know, Michael Parkinson. Yeah. Yeah. So, but the Zoom master is helping in the background. They're the director or the producers of the show. Yeah, definitely.
Just thank you. That's all.
You had a follow-up question? No? Okay. All right. So what other questions do people have? Thanks very much, Paul, by the way.
Nick, there's one in the chat there from Claire Wright.
Okay. So just bear with me 1 second. I can see. Okay. So Claire, would you like to speak?
Yeah, I was just going to say that one of the problems I've got a really new club in my area, and they've only had 3 meetings, and they refuse to use Zoom. They will only use Teams, but they are quite keen to run a competition. So I'm slightly concerned because I'm not that confident on Teams as to what I do. Do I try and push Zoom? Because they haven't got the experience for judges and things like that, the people who I will bring in won't be that confident on Teams either. So I'm just concerned as to, don't want to upset them, but I don't want to put other people in a difficult position. So I just wondered what we were doing in those situations, because some of the corporate clubs may have issues with security on Zoom.
I've got exactly that issue with the corporate club. For security reasons, they won't use Zoom.
That's fine. Now, here's from my point of view. I'm going to come to Rob in a second about the contest, but just from my point of view in terms of technology, if they're happy to use Teams, let them use Teams. That's fine. Unfortunately, almost all online clubs who were online before the pandemic use Zoom. Most of the clubs that have gone online have been using Zoom, and we as a team have been using Zoom. Now, some of us may have skills with Teams and other things as well, but there will be less of a it will be challenging to help them fully, but we will try and help them. Rob, would you like to jump in with that at all, with anything?
Yep, kind of agreeing with what you've said, Nick. With nearly every club I know of is using Zoom. What I will say is Teams is great. It's just as good as Zoom. Zoom is far more easier to learn. But what I would be telling your corporate club is, fair enough, use Teams for your club contest, but be aware that the area contest, which you as an area director will be running, will be done through Zoom, purely because the district are paying for you to have a Zoom. They're reimbursing you for a Zoom account. They're not reimbursing you for a Teams account. So although your clubs can go on and do their club contest through Teams, and I'm happy to support that because I've got experience of Teams, so I'm happy to support your corporate clubs with that. When it comes to your area, the division, and the district contest, they will all be happening on Zoom. And there's no issues there from a corporate point of view, because by this point, any member that comes through the contest from a corporate club will then be joining all the other ones, and it won't be a corporate contest. It will be an area or a divisional or a district contest.
Okay, thank you. That's really helpful. Yeah, thanks.
Thanks, Claire. Thanks, Anne. Any other questions? Joe.
Sorry, Marion. Are there any issues about security with Zoom? I have heard that, but I haven't experienced any problems.
Well, yes. Sometimes I forget my password, but no. Let me go to the experts. So, who would like to answer that particular question?
I'm happy to do that one because I come across it regularly. Insofar as that, I do voluntary work for the NHS, who point blank have exactly the same issues your corporate clubs do, saying that they won't use Zoom, and for security reasons. But one of the issues of the security, yes, it was reported that they did have some breach of security, but I've had exactly the same breach of security where I've had someone come and join a Teams meeting and there's no waiting room, which is another filter and security asset to you that you can stop people coming in. And they joined a meeting and we have no idea who they were. And they'd actually hijacked someone else's ID. So all the platforms have the same issue. It's how the meeting is set up. So do you have passcodes as well as meeting IDs, which are unique to every meeting? And Zoom software updates happen so regularly, as we mentioned earlier, because of that exact issue of security. They're always updating it. They're dealing with their encryption. They're dealing with issues as far as defaulting passwords, defaulting that you have to have a waiting room. So it actually, in my opinion, is almost more secure, but from an end user perspective, it's much easier because you can pre-register people as well. And that is another form of added security to keep control on who's coming in.
Thanks, Dinah. Just to actually let everybody know, Dinah and Eddie are going to be shooting off in a few minutes. So if you have any particular questions for them, just put something in the chat now or raise your hand, okay? Thanks very much for that. Joe, does that answer your question?
Thank you. Yeah, it does. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks. Sorry, Garode, I'll be with you in 1 second. Marion, you had a question?
Yes. Hi, Nick. Just first of all, congratulations to you all for doing this. I think it's absolutely fantastic, and it's a huge comfort to feel that support is going to be there for every one of us going forward. So well done. With regards to starting the training, how soon do you think it's going to start? Because I'm very conscious as soon as we go into September, there'll be a lot of clubs starting to run their own club contest.
Right. Well, there's the second session is actually starting in 15 minutes time, but it will be recorded. The first session went on a couple of weeks back. There's Zoom training sessions to help club level, clubs run better Zoom events. That's going on currently, and it's being recorded. And as Eddie said earlier, we will distribute recordings of that training as soon as possible to you. Okay.
Right.
So in terms of the contest, sorry, go ahead.
No, sorry, I said that's great. Yeah. Brilliant.
Okay.
Yeah.
And in terms of the contest, Chris and Rob are working to actually put something together, and you know, we're looking for people to join us to then say, hey, the problem I've got is, and then we can help them. And at the same time, we're helping not just one person in one club. We want to help every person in all of the 200 odd clubs that we have in our district, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
right.
That's where the power comes in. Rob.
Thank you.
Yeah, with regard to the contest, one of the ideas we've had is we're going to run a couple of fake contests. We will have speakers doing a couple of 2 to 3 minute speeches. We will have judges, chief judges, contest chairs, the works. So any of your members that want to get involved, that want to take a role on and aren't too sure what they're doing, can step in. They can act as Zoom master. We'll have people doing all the different roles. And we might run 5 or 6 contests in one night, if you know what I mean. It'll just be, it won't take that long because we're only having the 2 or 3 minute pretend contest speeches, but it will give everybody a chance to take on a different role, experience it from behind the scenes, and hopefully upskill themselves to know what to do on a bigger scale. When they do move up to the bigger scale, we'll have a team of people that we can send a couple along to help you out in the background. Not take control because it's your contest, but be there and offer the support and help you with the running of the contest as it stands.
Marianne, does that answer your question?
Absolutely, yeah, Nick, that's great. Thank you very much, Rob. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for your kind words. Garode, you had a point.
Thanks, Nick. Actually, I was just following up on the security issue because there is one club in Division D as well that won't go on Zoom, and it's not a corporate club. It's actually a real brick and mortar club, and it was several members, I think, brought it into the club and poisoned their minds, saying that, oh, Zoom has security issues. And we tried our best, like, to convince them, like, all the security levels were there, but still won't, you know, they still won't go for it. And I think their last meeting was on Skype, but so
that's fine. They can run their club meetings on any platform they wish, except that when they come, as Rob said, area contests and above are going to be on Zoom. So that's the point. David.
So I just wanted, second point was just as regards security. I see some clubs and they're actually putting up their links, like meeting IDs, passwords on their Facebook. You're only inviting trouble if you do that. So simply put in the message, like, to PM the club directly for details of the meeting. That way you'll eliminate gate crashers.
Yeah, I think that, look, when it comes down to it, I was in a club meeting which had a few people come in and cause a little bit of ruckus. And a lot of people were not very happy about it in the club and so on. But what I said to them was, this is just software. This is just people putting something up. And yeah, we can stop things like that happening. If somebody's really determined, we just put a waiting room on, we have advanced registration, those kind of things, and you can actually get used to doing that. But don't let things like this or hearing things about this put you off the meeting. It's still very secure, and also it's a lot more secure than your bricks and mortar clubs where you invite anybody in off the street, in my opinion. David, you had a point there, and then I'll
just to say, you know, there's a concern about all this training that we need to do. You know, every club that's been doing Zoom meetings since the earlier part of the year, inadvertently, you've been training. You've been getting used to using Zoom, muting and unmuting, turning your video on and off. You've been chatting on the chat box. So now what we're asking clubs to do, and we've started it in Area 28 and Division D, we're asking clubs to experiment. You know, at a normal club meeting, do a breakout room for your topics. You know, get used to renaming your audience into different categories. Try out polls, try out voting for the best speaker, the best evaluator, the best contribution of the night. So these are all simple ways that we can familiarize ourselves. It's not that daunting. We just need to give it a go. And if we make mistakes as we go along, we'll get better as we go along. So we shouldn't be dependent on a whole flurry of videos or training schedules. The information is there. We have the base knowledge already. We need to work to ensure that clubs are trying to up their game now, in particular, as we approach club contests, and let's up our game again when we get to area and up it again when we get to division. But the difference now is more people are familiar with the technical means and technical functions of Zoom than previously. We started at 0 and we're well beyond 0 at this point in terms of the personnel engaging with online Zoom meetings. So I hope that's by way of some encouragement for those hoping to spread the knowledge.
Thank you, David. Thank you. Yes, absolutely. You learn by doing. Let's bring in Paul.
Thank you very much, Nick. I'm the Vision A Director in Cork. And first of all, I want to thank you and everybody who's been involved in this and all the other people who are not here who've been involved for all the support you've given us from the start of the pandemic until now. And secondly, I want to congratulate you on the establishment of what I will call a learning academy, because that's the easiest thing for me to remember it as. I think it's a great thing for Division 71 to have a learning academy, and I believe there should be other forms of learning academy in the district. The question, the point I want to check that I've understood you accurately is that I'm taking away the impression that what exists at present for somebody to get as opposed to apply for are training sessions that are training instructions that have been recorded by Eddie and his team on Zoom, and that they have already started. My guess is that that means that in about 4 weeks' time, there'll be 3, 4, 5 online things for people to look at rather than any face-to-face coaching. Can I check that that's correct? And can I also check that there isn't anything else immediately available at the moment, but there are, of course, things on stream that will be coming through, but they're not yet available. May I check both of those?
Okay, Paul, thanks very much for your kind words. What Eddie described earlier was that they're going to be not just the videos, but they're going to be different scenarios at which we can engage with people. But as David pointed out just now, you have the opportunity, we've had the opportunity for 5 months to be online and practice a lot of these skills. So it's a matter of letting your members in your clubs take the role of Zoom Master. Now, that's you know, I know not everybody will want to jump at it straight off on you know, in the following week, but allow people to have a go at it. Paul, go ahead.
I have no difficulty about allowing people to do things in clubs. Now, after all, we're not a meeting of club people here. We're area directors and division directors, so we're not talking to anyone in a club. However, I do have the challenge of communicating to people in clubs what is available from the academy. Now, there are many clubs that have cracked all of holding normal meetings, and very few clubs in Division A and Cork who have held online speech contests. Our areas are fine. We have that sorted. But in our clubs, we may well have a whole lot of people who will simply be nominated. So the question is, what can I tell the area directors in Division A is available when they go to a club president and say, would any of your people in the club like to learn more so that you can run something. So I just need to know chapter and verse of what is available next week or the week after. And that is the question which I'm asking. Thank you.
Okay, right now you have some training which is going to be available online in the next day or so. That's the first thing. But also you have the ability to collect up names and send them to a Zoom events coordinator who will then pass them to the relevant person. And Eddie, have I missed anything else? Can you add anything else to this answer, please?
Certainly. So I suppose what I was trying to convey earlier, and my apologies, Paul, if it didn't come across well, is that the sessions that we've set up, the first 4 sessions, phase 1 that we've set up, is just to establish a baseline, right? We've only had 10 people on those sessions. So, you know, we felt that we had to start the ball rolling somewhere. The next phases will be basically people playing around with the software, you know, questions and answers, all of that kind of stuff. But as we move into phase 2, phase 3, and so on, we are completely, and there are more trainers available. We are completely open to things like repeating sessions, covering specific topics. If people say, you know, I want to go back over breakout rooms or meeting security or whatever the case may be, and if someone wants to go down that road, one-on-one mentoring as well. We are totally open to all that. So yes, you know, some of the content or a portion of the content has probably already been covered and has been recorded, but we're completely open to going back over it again, and, you know, taking offline sessions and doing, you know, responding basically to whatever people's needs are as best we can.
I thank you,
very
Eddie.
much. Thanks, Eddie. I can get further clarification from you later if I need it on another day.
Sure. Claire, very quickly, go ahead.
I was just going to ask, given that there's only 10 people on those first 2 on phase 1, is it possible that people could join phase 1 now? Is that a possibility?
Absolutely.
It's 3 and 4. So we could say to them that there's 2 sessions left that they could join in phase 1.
There are 2 sessions left.
Okay.
Unfortunately, one starts in 3 minutes,
Right.
and the 4th session starts at 7.
It's both sessions are started.
Yeah, we're doing them back to back.
Okay, sorry. Okay, fine.
No, that's okay. But I mean, perhaps, okay, so if I can make a suggestion to the Zoom Academy, that perhaps we need to actually, in fact, to all the academies, we need to put something on paper or on email that we can actually then put around as maybe a flyer or some sort of information booklet for our division directors and area directors to then disseminate. I think that would really help. Remember, it's not about what we do, it's about the benefits to the clubs, the areas, the divisions, and ultimately the district. That's the key that we should lead upon. I think that in terms of the sessions that you've been running, Eddie, I think possibly have a think about running those sessions again, but obviously we want to have many more participants. If we have, you know, we can appropriate a bigger room as well if required, so we can have up to 500 people in the training. So we would actually want to go and do some of the live training again for people, I would suggest. But the key, there's 2, as far as I can see, 2 really important things at the moment. The 2 priorities should be the Zoom training to make sure that the clubs have got a certain level of Zoom masters or capability, and also the contest element is really important, because those 2 things are really needed now. And so that's, as I said at the beginning, that's what we need help with. We need information. We will provide information to you to then disseminate to your networks, so that we can actually bring solutions if there are problems out there. Okay, I'm conscious of the time, It is 1 minute to 7, and we did say it would be 60 minutes. So thank you very much for your time. If you have any questions, you've got the Zoom Events Coordinator's email address. So please make sure you have that. Make sure you have any questions. Please drop Liz a line. She will then send it to the appropriate person. The main thing now is for us to communicate with you, and please give us feedback. Please give us points. Please tell us if we've missed anything. Please refer us to anybody who is interested. That's the key. This is a ground up process. This is not from the district. This is from the ground up. I'm not an officer in District 71 this year. This is from the ground up. All I want is the best for this district and the divisions and the areas and the clubs. With that, I'd like to say thank you very much for attending. I really appreciate your time, and no doubt we shall see you again. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nick. Thanks, everybody. Night to you all.
Good evening.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks ever so much, guys.
Thank you for all your input, Claire and Timothy, and of course all Sarinka, and obviously everybody who spoke, David and Rob, Geroid and Dinah and Eddie. Thank you very much. So are we good to pause the recording there?